really well actually. So I've just been to the gym, which is sort of a rarity at this time on a weekend. Luckily Adam's ended up having the day off work, so it's sort of freed up some time for us both really to have some of our own time. So Adam will be going to the gym a bit later as well, so that's a bonus. But I'm going to be honest, I think the reason why I wanted to sort of do a video today, oh, the guy's opened his door in front of me. Anyway, I have struggled the last few days, you know, with sort of everything that's going on around us at the minute, issues that have been brought up to do with, you know, there's the whole coronavirus that I'm sure we're all aware of, and then there's the whole all the articles and stuff being shared around paedophilia and sex trafficking and stuff like that. And obviously they're just, you know, they're not nice to read, they're not nice to see, and it's not nice to think about, is it? And I really have struggled with understanding sort of the lack of awareness coming from not necessarily, you know, people like you and I, but from people higher up with that sort of power where they can make a huge difference sort of in a heartbeat. And you know, when people like us, we try and share awareness and spread awareness, sometimes people kind of look at us and think like, what are you doing, like, you're okay? Some people don't believe it's real, they believe it's not going on, they believe that children aren't being sold for money, they're not being raped, they're not being trafficked, when really we know it's something that's happening all around the world still, which in this day and age I would also like to believe it wasn't going on, but the truth of the matter is, you know, it is happening. And for me, it's not a case of sort of just burying our heads in the sand and pretending it's not there, because that feels like just as much injustice to me than sort of, you know, not doing anything about it and whatnot. But yeah, so I've really struggled with that. But the last thing I ever want is to sort of cause conflict and friction between you know, the people that are not just close to me, but sort of in my network across social media platforms as well. It's never sort of my motive to cause tension or, you know, rub people up the wrong way, shall we say. And what some of my posts have done, you know, people have sort of got the wrong idea on certain posts. I've had people unfriend me on Facebook, when really it was never about trying to piss anyone off or personally attack anybody. And this is what led me to think about sort of the whole people pleasing sort of thing, because if I went onto my social media platforms and I tried to please every single body that I had on there, I'd have to be 1,000,001 different people to sort of keep everybody happy. And people pleasing is something that I see so often amongst friends, family, people that I know, people that are not so close to me. And the problem is you just can't make everybody happy. It's just not going to happen. And when you try and people please on a very extreme level, you're giving away your power, you know. It's literally stealing your power, it's sapping your energy, and it's the total opposite of sort of self-love, self-worth, your self-esteem, because your actions that you're putting out there, they're not to sort of do what's right for you and what's in alignment with yourself and your values and your standards. What you're doing is you're trying to have actions to fulfill their needs and their values and their standards, when that's not what life's about. I mean, obviously we can do things for people and give back, you know, contribution, and we can gift people and do nice little gestures for them, charity work, etc. But what we've got to be fully aware of is where it's coming from. If you're gonna do that with, you know, the intentions of it being pure, and because it's a value and a standard of yours, that's where it needs to be coming from. Because if you do any sort of acts of kindness or kind gestures, or you do someone a favour and your expectations are that they should respond in a certain way, or they should do something in return for you, either immediately or sort of in the future, so you're sort of expecting an IOU back from that, or you know, you're expecting them to be super happy, or expecting them to behave in a certain way after you've given them, you know, that gesture, or you've done that kind deed. That's not coming from a place that's pure. That's sort of coming from a place that says, well, I'm going to do this for you, but in return I need this. And that's what people pleasing is. It's sort of saying, well, I'm going to do this for you because one, I need to feel needed by you, and two, I need that reassurance and that validation and that acknowledgement for me to feel good. And that is where you're giving your power away, because we should be doing that when you give. It is 100%, it is so good to give, you know, it's good for the soul to give, but it's got to be with boundaries and with pure intentions. Because once you start giving and giving and giving with expectation of something, anything, it can be something really small like a response or a behaviour in return, that's when you're giving your power away. Because then once those expectations aren't met, or your needs aren't met, you're left disappointed, which isn't what, you know, we don't want anyone to go around life feeling disappointed or upset. Or you could even be telling yourself, well, I'm not good enough, what I've just done for them isn't good enough, do I need to do more? Or you could go the other way and you could say, well, sod it, I'm not going to do anything for them anymore, when really, if they didn't ask for that kind gesture and you were doing it out of your, you know, pure heart, your pure intentions, it wouldn't matter how they responded. And this can be anything. Like if you love somebody, and this can be a friend, family, partner, if you love them, we love them because we love them. We love them because loving them feels good. We love them because of who they are, and we're not loving them because we need something in return. You know, obviously we've all got our human needs and whatnot, but there needs to be sort of a line in the sand where you say, I'm going to give this to you because I want to, and because it's you, not because I'm going to give this to you and I expect this in return. It's a very dangerous sort of model when you start giving with all sort of expectations, and when you've got too many expectations in life, we get disappointed. And when I say expectations, it comes in every single form, and I've been there myself 100 times over, and most of my anxiety is linked to tiny expectations each moment. So especially when you've got toddlers, you literally cannot go into in a situation, especially if you're in a rush or you're on sort of like a time limit or a schedule. You cannot afford to go in with a shit ton of expectations, because if you're thinking, right, I'm going to get my toddler dressed, we're going to do this, she's going to sit and eat breakfast, and then we're going to leave the door at this time, she should be getting dressed perfectly with no moaning, no arguments, she's going to put her shoes on the right feet, and then she's going to come out the door and she's going to get in the car ready just as I wanted to. Can you imagine? I know as a parent you're already thinking, Jesus, I wish that would happen. If you go into that situation with those expectations, let's face it, without, you know, ulterior motives from that toddler, because they are just innocent children, your expectations are not going to be met. They're not going to be putting the shoes on the right feet the first time. They'll probably put them on the wrong feet 10 times just because they will, even though they know which ones are the right feet. They'll probably take 45 minutes to eat the breakfast, so you're already 30 minutes late. You know, so it's sort of right, let's not go in with expectations. Let's try and be mindful and be aware of, right, when I do this, am I going in with any form of expectation? And if you are, know that it is totally normal, and we've all done it, we all do it, a lot of us have been there. But if you can be aware, and if you can catch yourself and notice when you're going in with these sort of expectations, and just stop yourself and just say, are my intentions pure here, and what am I looking to gain? Because if you're looking to gain anything other than feeling good yourself without any validation or sort of acknowledgement from any external source or behavior, then that's fine, you know. But if you're going in with those expectations, that's where people pleasing is extremely dangerous for yourself, you know. It's not self-love. Self-love is sort of being able to hold your own, have your own boundaries, give purely, and give without expectations of anything sort of in return. So if you can just notice if you are doing that, it will give you a massive shift. And sometimes just having that awareness of what you're going into a situation trying to expect will say, you know what, still do it if you want to do it, but say to yourself things like, I expect nothing in return. Their behaviour doesn't matter, their response doesn't matter, because you're never going to be able to sort of control how people act or people react. People are never going to behave and react in the same way as we do, and being able to let go of that is just another level of sort of, you know, freedom, and it just gives you a little bit more peace, you know, because if we can let go of trying to control what other people are doing or how other people are going to react to us, it doesn't matter then, does it? And it's all just about you then. And as selfish as that sounds, sometimes it's got to be, you know. Sometimes you've got to say, right, I'm enough on my own, and it doesn't matter how people respond, as long as my intentions are pure, I'm doing the right thing. And that's what it all boils down to. So if you are, you know, a person that loves doing gestures and doing nice things for people, that's great, but understand that some people aren't like that, and if you want to do it, just do it, and just give, you know, with a pure intention, but then also set yourself some sort of limits and boundaries. And if you're doing it for people that aren't good for you, and sort of they're not nice people, they're not kind to you at all, you've sort of got to have that awareness as well, where you're not giving to the wrong sort of people, and you're sort of making sure you're not giving out too much energy to people that are just going to take and drain from you. So I will probably do another video on those sort of boundaries, and trying to sort of, you know, have those sort of limits and boundaries on yourself, so you're not giving away your energy and your power. But that was sort of my little take on expectations and people pleasing, because it can just, I mean, I was spoiled in a matter of days just by trying to sort of not try and hurt people and try and please people, which just doesn't work. So yeah, that was my take on that. So let me know if you've ever been there, done it, or if you're struggling with it now. I'd love to have a chat, just to see if there's any things we can do to try and get you out of that cycle, because you absolutely deserve to give with pure intentions, because it feels wonderful, doesn't it? It does feel great. And yeah, I'd love to chat. If you've overcome people pleasing, I'd love to hear from you as well. I've just got home, so I am going to go in, have my post-workout because I'm hungry, and then go and spend some time with the little one and Adam for the day. So hope you enjoy your Sunday. Have a fabulous, wonderful, beautiful day, and I will speak to you all very soon. Mwah. Love you lots. Bye bye.